Hello everyone, I'm Simon from HackerBot, and today we are talking about the infamous, the feared, the hated, the glorious Aimbot. Now, most of you guys will know what Aimbots are, and yeah, as the name implies, they are bots, robots, that will aim for you mostly in online shooters. They work for any platform, PC, Android, iOS. It's possible to get them on every platform. However, not every platform is as easy to get them as on PC. Anyways, guys, if you want to find legitimate aimbots, now, I will say that most of them are paid. The best ones are paid. The ones that offer all of the options I'm going to show you today, they are going to be paid 99% of the time, because it's really in-depth. Anyways, guys, if you want to find aimbots, you simply go to your local Googles, you enter HackerBot, and you'll be able to find hackerbot.net, and you'll be able to go find cheats right here. And this is our free finder. This will find free cheats, so if there's any free aimbots or wall hacks available for the game that you're looking to cheat in, you'll find it here. Now, if you want to find paid cheats, there's a link right here, find paid cheats, or ProFinder down here. You simply go to our ProFinder, and there you'll be able to look for cheats for aimbots in among legitimate paid providers, okay, that I have put into a list. And these search engines, what they will do is they will only search legitimate cheating websites for the cheats that you are looking for, okay? If you're using Google these days or any search engine, you're going to find a lot of scams, fakes, human verification, surveys, and so on. So I don't recommend doing that. I recommend using HackerBot.net to find your aimbots. Anyways, guys, so let's have a look at what aimbots exactly are. Why you would use them, what they do, and so on and so on and so on. Obviously, first of all, the moral thing, of course, it's not very nice to use aimbots unless you're heavily handicapped and just simply can't aim, in which case it's a good crutch to rely on. Also, another thing, if you're using aimbots, if you're abusing them, if you're using them to dominate other people, headshot everybody left and right, you're gonna get banned. And that's gonna be a good thing, because you're being a silly prick, okay? So don't do that, please. Be nice to people, be a social cheater. If you're gonna cheat, please, just please, be nice with people. Alright, anyways, so what do aimbots do? Of course, they automatically aim for you, as we already said, but also they also automatically shoot for you, which is called a trigger bot. Now we want to have a look at some of the options that a premium aimbot will offer you, besides just simply locking onto targets and so on. I'm just going to go into the configuration options that a decent aimbot will have. And here we have such a configurations option menu, basically. So this is basically just this is where you configure where the aimbot will shoot. So most good aimbots, premium aimbots, will be able to be configured where to shoot for auto, which will prefer the torso, but it'll shoot people anywhere where it can, basically. So if only a leg is visible, it's going to shoot the leg. So here, the most important thing is just to hit somebody. This can be set, for example, to headshot only, body shot only, leg shot only, arm shot only, whatever. You can basically define what kind of limbs you want to go for, or if you want to go for auto. Very important. Then this configures which target to aim for, closest target to the reticle, to your crosshairs, or closest target in terms of distance. It can do all of these things. You can also, then these are some options that will make it seem more natural. So if people are watching your kill cam, or if they're watching your character, these options will allow you to slow down your aiming so that it's not jagged movement, which is a dead giveaway for aimbots. This will limit your aiming angle. That means the aimbot won't just automatically jump to somebody who's 180 degrees behind you, right? Which is another dead giveaway that you're cheating, and people will report you and you'll get banned. And the auto-fire delay is basically the delay between locking onto a target and shooting it. Of course, guys, an aimbot can only shoot stuff that's actually in line of sight. Of course, in some games where there is good physics, where you can actually shoot through walls, some aimbots, and I'm going to warn you guys, bad aimbots will aim through walls. Because the thing about aimbots that aim through walls and shoot through walls is, it's nice to be able to shoot people through walls, I get it, it's awesome, it's OP, yes. But the thing is, everybody knows that you're cheating when you're doing that. So these kinds of aimbots usually get banned very quickly, and everybody who uses them, no matter whether it's a private cheater or in a public or whatever, everybody who uses them is going to get banned as well. Alright, that's why it's bad to use aimbots that aim through walls and shoot through walls. So I highly recommend you don't. Alright, because you're gonna get banned. Now here's an important thing as well. There's bullet speed correction and bullet drop correction. Of course, like games that are coming out these days have realistic bullet physics. That means the bullet travels at a certain speed, and aimbots are able to, for example, predict movements and so on. Those are advanced functions. So, for example, of course, bullets do travel like this out of the barrel. Not quite like this, but it will be able to account for bullet travel speed and bullet drop and everything like that. Now, it's still going to be, even if you're using all these options to obfuscate cheating, it's still going to be possible for people to tell that you're cheating, because essentially what happens is human aim movement kind of looks like this, right? You're aiming at somebody, you start shooting, you overshoot the target, you go back, you track the target, something like this. An aimbot will be more like very linear, okay? An aimbot will still be somebody who, even if you're using all these options to obfuscate your cheating, somebody who knows what they're looking for is still going to be able to tell, because an aimbot just aims like this and then tracks like this, no matter how you configure it, with certain exceptions, but those are incredibly expensive. So anyways, those are essentially the options that you can use. Of course, very good aimbots will also be able to pre-aim people, so if they're moving and there's bullet travel speed, they will take that into account and aim in such a way that if a target retains its trajectory and velocity, it will hit. So that means it will be able to shoot people with bullet travel speed if they're moving as well. So that's a very complicated thing to get into, but for example, Battlefield games, that has been possible for a long time, and PlanetSide 2 and so on and so on and so on. So aimbots will be able to correct for movement of the target as well, is basically what I am saying, and be able to track targets perfectly, unless they obviously reduce their speed or, you know, go zigzag. And if they're going zigzag, most of the time aimbots are not going to be able to hit them. Anyways, guys, so that's that. Of course, most aimbots come with an ESP hack that will show you enemies through walls and all that good stuff. And that's actually okay. So now, is it worth getting an aimbot? Is it worth heading over to HackerBot.net and searching for an aimbot for your game? I'm just going to give you some of my experience. Now, I don't use aimbots anymore because, well, I'm not really playing shooters anymore that much. Because, you know, life gets complicated as you get older and stuff, but whatever. So, back when I used them, what I noticed is I really loved, like, the early good shooters, like Battlefield 2 and Call of Duty 4, you know, back when Call of Duty was really good. Anyways, so I grinded those games for hundreds of hours to get the Golden Desert Eagles and whatnot. But after I started using aimbots, not in those games, but in later games, I just noticed that my interest in the game was, like, over after, like, 6-7 hours. And that's something that an aimbot will do, because we are human beings and we want to have a challenge, right? We love a challenge. That's why the girl that you can't have is much more interesting than the girl that just throws herself at you, right? So that's just how it works. If kills are easy to get, they're not very interesting. If all the unlocks are easy to get, it's not very interesting. So that is why I think aimbots are kind of problematic when it comes to the fun factor. So especially if you're abusing them, it's going to make the game so easy you're not going to be interested in playing the game at all. On top of, you're going to get banned if you're abusing an aimbot. Like, people are going to be able to tell that you are using an aimbot if you're using it, if you're abusing it and just shooting everybody left and right. And And also, guys, these days we have server-side anti-cheats that will analyze your statistics, so your kill-death ratio, your accuracy rating, your headshot ratios, and so on. So those server-side anti-cheats will automatically ban you. And then if you're still being a prick, people will report you, of course, as well, and you're going to get banned that way. So if you want to cheat that's highly risky, that'll get you banned quickly if you're abusing it, this is definitely the cheat to go for. So, but that should be obvious for anyone that's using an aimbot. Of course, people are going to report you if you're abusing it. The way I would recommend using aimbots is don't, okay? It's much more fun to use a wall hack. It's still going to give you a huge advantage, but it's not going to take the challenge out of the game. It's not going to take your enjoyment out of the game. So those are very, very highly recommended because, you know, it shows you where people are. It gives you a huge strategical advantage, which is awesome, of course. But it's not as overpowered as an aimbot. It's not going to get you banned as quickly, and so on. Of course, I have never been banned while using an aimbot, but that's because I exactly know how to use them. I mean, I'm doing this kind of as a job, talking about this stuff. When I used them with respect for other people. I didn't abuse them. I would make sure I'm at most third in the rankings and not first and not second, just to stay under the radar. That's how I use them. I just made them to augment my mechanical skills because I'm really bad at mechanical stuff. It took me like 8 years to learn to write on a keyboard at a decent speed. It took me that freaking long, and that's my job, writing stuff on a keyboard. So I'm really, really, really bad when it comes to mechanical stuff and aiming and so on. I'm really bad, as you may be able to tell by my drawing with these pencils and stuff right here. But anyways, that's a different matter entirely. So most people that will be trying to use aimbots will not have these kind of disadvantages that I arguably do or do not have. But nevertheless, please use them with respect for the other players. Just use them to augment your skill, get you to a decent level, to not a pro player level, but a decent level. Don't overdo it because you're gonna get banned. Your account's gonna be gone. You might be IP banned. You might be able to not even buy the game again. So there's a huge risk associated with it as well. That is less much so with wall hacks as well. But of course, a lot of you guys will try it, and you will have to make your own experiences with it. Now, do aimbots work with any device? Yes, of course they do, but they're most prevalent on PC because that's where the main development community is. Now, shooter games on mobile, Android, iOS are a new thing, so that's one reason why aimbots are not as common yet on that platform, but I predict that they will be very common in the future, definitely. So that is definitely going to grow quickly. At the moment, most of the aimbots are on PC. They are possible to be implemented on PlayStation and Xbox as well. However, you need a hacked console in order to do that, one that can execute unsigned code, which means you're at least going to need some professional help. At this point, I think from the newer generation, at least in 2018, the PS4 at a certain firmware can execute unsigned code. The Xbox One, as far as I'm aware, cannot. However, it's only a question of time, usually, until that kind of thing happens. However, compared to PC, it's 1,000 times harder to get an aimbot working on a PlayStation or an Xbox, especially because since they are not easily available or easily installed, not a lot of people are developing them. So modded controllers are a better way to cheat in those kinds of online shooters. Now, Android, iOS, it's easier again, but it's not as easy as on PC. Anyways, guys, so this is kind of most of the relevant information. As I've already said, I do recommend wall hacks over aimbots, even though aimbots are absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, more overpowered. They are gonna affect the enjoyment that you have in the game. There's probably gonna be like a small percentage of people that will still enjoy the game, even though they're aimbotting. But those people will have probably some kind of mental deficit, some kind of psychotic thing going on where they really, really love to dominate other people. I do know that there's like people that are really addicted to power and this kind of stuff. This kind of person would still enjoy the game using stuff like this. But everybody else will be like, well, there's no challenge. The game is easy. Everything is easy to attain. There's nothing special about it anymore. It's boring. So, anyways, those are, as I said, Aimbots are a double-sided sword. On one hand, really powerful, allows you to farm stuff really quickly, get a lot of kills, get a lot of score, pretend to be a pro and be toxic to the other team. The way I use them is I just use the aimbots, towards the end at least, only when the other team in a Call of Duty or a Battlefield match was just dominating us. Like, those situations where the teams are incredibly unbalanced, the other team has like, half their team is max rank from one single clan, they're all on TeamSpeak, and they're just, I'm not going to use the vulgar words for it, but they're basically flattening you in a very violent way and spawn camping you. That's where I would turn on my my pro simulator thingy or aimbot. That's how I would do it. That's how I recommend you guys do it. Please be social. Please respect other players. Please respect the game itself. That's all I'm asking for. Let's not be antisocial prick cheaters. Let's be nice. Let's try and help people. And that's one good way to use aimbots, to actually balance a match when you're being dominated by the other team, or by some kind of weird clan that just is out on a power trip and wants to see you suffer. Anyways, guys, that's about aimbots. As I've said, you can find legitimate cheating software at HackerBot.net. You can also download our app for Android, iOS, and so on. Yeah, thanks you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time.